Hello everyone, it's another Castle Creations again. Today we're going to show you some of our favorite wig and makeup tips to help your cosplay truly shine.
Right, so now we're going to move on to Jester's hair. This is a Luthien from Arda Wigs that I have cut. If you don't want to cut a wig, Arda has some great short styles, both in this color and in dark blue, which works for Jester or any other character you're doing. You can probably find something that works for you. It's not the only place to get wigs. Epic Cosplay Wigs is great. You can even find some good deals on Amazon and various other places. The one thing you want to do is make sure that your wig is heat safe. These fibers will melt at high heat, and that's what we have to use to set them. So just make sure that they can withstand those temperatures before you use anything on them.
First things first, brush out your wig and clear any tangles. I'm going to separate my pieces along the wig's wefts, or rows of wig hair. Following the weft lines makes it easier to get consistent curls. So I'm going to place each section carefully in a curler. Make sure the ends don't get folded, as it will lead to kinks in your wig fibers. I'll just go around and do the same thing until all the wig fibers are in curlers. I just want to add a little volume and texture to the wig. If you want more curls, use smaller sections and more curlers. Smaller curlers will result in tighter curls. I'm going to use my garment steamer and a trash bag and steam the wig all around. The trash bag, while not glamorous, will keep the steam from escaping. I will come back and do this 2 to 3 more times until the wig is dripping, so mind the floors as they will see a bit of water. But be very careful because the steam is very hot. If you're one of the younger ones out there, perhaps ask an adult to help you out. Then I wait until the next day or so when the wig is completely dry. If you take the curlers out while it's still wet, they won't hold. Once I take them out, I give her a little brush and she's ready for any teasing and styling that you might want to do. And Luna's going to show you how to do that. With body paint, you will use some similar techniques as cosplay makeup, but with a tint. I'm going to start with Mare in Paradise paint in light blue. I'm using a sponge to apply it, but you can also use a brush. This is a water-activated paint, so be sure to get a cup of water before you start. Lightly wet your sponge or brush and dip it into the paint. You may need a couple layers, and the paint does darken a bit as it dries. You don't want to apply body paint with your costume on if you can help it. The paint can stain, so wear something you don't mind parting with that you can easily slip over your head or unbutton without messing up your paint. The next thing I'll do is to start contouring or adding a little shading to my face. I'm going to use a few different colors of blue to build up the contour. I'll start with a shade just barely darker than the paint and build up with darker and darker colors. This works for any character. Just look for eyeshadow palettes in your color. I don't use anything with a shimmer for contouring, but I'll add some shimmer later. After I contour, I'll add some blush. For some characters, adding a little blush on the nose can be cute. I'll also add a little highlighter now. This one has a slight blue undertone. Next, I'll fill in my eyebrows to match my wig. You can use a colored brow pomade or eyeshadow to do this. Jester has freckles, so I'm going to use a blue eyeliner to apply them, but you can also use some eyeshadow as well. Vary the pressure you're using to make freckles vary in size. Add some shadow or carefully dab some more of the Maron paint in between the freckle layers to give them a variety of lightness and darkness. Next I'll add eyeshadow. You can get a little creative with the eyeshadow unless your character has a specific look. I'll start with the crease and then I'll move on to the lid and add some pink. Next I'll add some eyeliner. Make sure to make it extra dramatic for cosplay, especially if you're going to add false lashes. So now that I've got my eyeliner done, I'm going to apply my lashes with some Duo Lash Glue. You don't have to use false lashes if you don't want to, but I like the added drama they provide. And Jester is a tiefling, so she has fangs and pointy ears, so I've put those on. The fangs are Scarecrow custom fangs, and once you fit them to your teeth, they just pop in. And the ears are by Aradani Studios. They may look a little too big right now, but they need to be long enough to pop outside the wig. Use mascara after applying your lashes to blend your natural lashes into the false ones. And then lastly, I like to apply my lipstick. The lipstick really does kind of complete the look, so that's why I like to do it last. First, pull your hair back into a wig cap. I did so after filming, to keep your natural hair from showing. With a hard front wig like this, hold the front at your hairline and pull the back over your head. Adjust it to sit where you want and secure with French pins.
This is the final look.
Hi, here is the look I'm going to be showing you today. I'm going to be showing you how I put her together. It's Magical Girl inspired. I love anything pink and sparkly, so this was really fun. So we're going to get started on styling this wig. This one is a little bit different than Ruby's. It is what you call a lace front wig. The difference between a lace front wig and a hard front wig is that the front part of the wig is set differently. This has hairs embedded into a lace to give you a more natural looking hairline. These are good for if you're doing hairstyles that are pulled back from the face, or if you want to see this part and give more of an illusion that it's actually growing out of your head. I've gone ahead, I've taken some bias tape and I've pinned down the edge of the lace to my wig block. We're going to go ahead and brush this out and make sure that all of the fibers are aligned so then we can get started. After brushing the wig, use alligator clips to separate the sections for the pigtail and bang area. Before we tease the back of the wig, we want to section off some hair from the top of the wig. This unteased hair will make it easier to smooth out everything later. To begin teasing, start with a 1, 2, 3 tapping motion to begin to loosen the hair. Then brush the hair towards the root with a packing motion. You'll want to have about a 1-inch section of hair at a time, and you're going to work your way through all of the wig with this motion. As you go through, you can use a hair pick and hairspray to really enforce the base tease at the root. The goal is to essentially create a large cloud of hair. After the base tease comes the pick down method. Working your way back to the top of the wig, use your hair pick to take down small sections of hair. I also use the pick to reinforce the packing I've previously done. Gently graze the top of the hair to start smoothing the wig. Start teasing the front sections of the hair like the back section. Pay attention to the way the hair will eventually lay, and also what hair will be visible once everything is smoothed. Start gathering and forming the pigtails into the desired shape. If you feel like you're losing volume as you're smoothing, you can use your hair pick to pick in and bring the volume back. Teasing is great for doing really gravity-defying things like anime spikes or bangs. Use a hair tie to help section off the hair. Repeat for the other side. You can also use hairspray and a hairdryer to further lock the style in place. Continue to smooth and detangle the hair. Again, graze the hair gently so that you don't undo all of the teasing work you worked so hard to achieve. To clean up and hide the hair ties, I took a section of hair and after smoothing and spraying it, wrapped it around the hair tie and secured it with hairpins. To finish, smooth the bangs, and it's time for makeup. To start, I like to put my wig prep on. This consists of using an ace bandage along my hairline, and then using 2 wig caps to make sure that my hair is very flat. Secure the wig caps to the ace bandage with French pins. I use a silicone-based primer to help make the makeup stick to my skin. This is really good for when you're on the con floor all day. I also like to add an eyeshadow primer now so that I can prep my lids for when we're going to do shadow. I start framing the face by darkening my eyebrows using an eyebrow pencil, dark shadows, and brow pomade. My sideburns tend to stick out of wigs, so I like to use Pros-Aid, a costume prosthetic adhesive, to cover them. After applying the Pros-Aid with the sponge, go over the section with setting powder before it dries. I use a light colored concealer to help further define my brows. If I don't warm up the parts of my face that have facial hair, it will show through my foundation. I go in with a red-orange cream color to cover those parts. I set the area with a translucent powder, and once it sets for about 2 minutes, I brush away the excess powder. Going in with foundation, I like to start with a brush and tap over the areas that need the fullest coverage. Don't forget to cover the areas you covered with Pros-Aid. To blend, I use a beauty sponge and go over until the foundation looks smooth. For contour, I go in first with a darker concealer to define areas that I want to recede. I'm using the darker concealer to define areas to make it look like I have a carved appearance. Contouring can really change the shape of your face. If you practice your contouring, you can achieve so many cool and different character looks. Just like dark colors make areas recede, light colors make things come forward. I define areas where the light would naturally hit the face with light concealer and blend it out. To clean up my contour, I like to take my light colored concealer and really carve out a clean line under my cheek. Once everything is blended, go in with a translucent setting powder to set the cream makeup and then brush away the excess. For eyeshadow, whatever color you're using, begin by packing in the color and then making small circles with your brush to blend it out. To help get really clean lines, one of my favorite tricks is to take a piece of duct tape and cover the back with translucent setting powder. I line it up with the area I want a clean line and brush the pigment over to make sure everything is really defined. We're going for an anime manga sort of look, and I want to open up my eyes and make them look bigger. To do this, I'm using light colored concealer to cut my crease, and then using a white eyeliner pencil to line my waterline. To really sell the bigger eye look, I also extend the corner of my inner eye with the same light concealer. To help the concealer blend, I'm taking a bit of the purple shadow and making sure the edges are really blurred out. I use dark shadows against the white line to make the illusion look more real. I go in with a bronzer and a darker powder to finish up the contour. Again, I'm using my piece of duct tape to really define that line. In my highlight areas, I set the areas with a lighter colored powder. I'll let it sit there for a moment while I do some finishing touches. This is called baking. After brushing away the excess powder, I go in with some blush and a beaming highlight. For the highlight, I again concentrate on areas that will naturally be hit by light. I use tweezers to help put on my lashes to help with precision, but if you try this, be very careful. Don't injure yourself. No magical girl is complete without glitter. If you use glitter in your makeup, make sure it's cosmetic safe, which means it has rounded corners so you can't poke out your eyes. I finish up with my lips, and then the look is done. To finish up your wig, trim the lace using a pair of scissors. You can leave as little or as much of the lace as you like, but usually 1/4 inch is a good length to aim for. Make sure you don't flip your wig onto your head. Set the hairline first and then adjust the wig cap. I glue the sides of my wig down with Got To Be Glued blasting free spray. Spray onto the skin where the wig will sit and wait for it to get a little tacky. And that, everyone, is the finished look. I love the way she turned out. She makes me feel very magical girl and sparkly, and that's what's important. Makeup is about experimenting and having fun. You can take all the techniques that I showed you today. You can take some of the techniques I showed you today, but in the end, it's all about how you want to look like. Remember, makeup and hair can really take your cosplays to the next level. It gives you that extra level of polish, and it makes you ready for the con floor.